Hello, good morning. Happy Friday. We are here. We're going to do some goal setting. We're going to do some live streaming, and it's going to be fun. I am super happy for you to join me. I am super happy for us to be going through our goals, auditing last week's goals. This is going to be, I'm on time for once, right? Right. 10:15 earlier than I thought I would be on. But here we are. So, if you don't already know me, I am Terrell. I am an academic consultant. I help students get their stuff together. I help them get and learn study skills and organization skills and time management skills that are going to help them to balance all of their obligations, all of their homework, hopefully some mental health and some self-care, and actually achieve those goals. So here we are on a nice early, bright and early Friday morning. It is quarter after, and we are going to first, we're going to talk about last week's goals. We're going to talk about the progress we made and how we made it. Then we're going to get into setting next week's goals. So I hope you have your planner. If you don't have a physical planner, you can download the planner on Stream. The link is down in the description, so you can download that. It's free. There's no charge. Download it, get some goals, and we can work from there. So we are going to scroll right on down to the weekly goals. I do monthly goal planning. I hold the monthly goal planning once a month in and around the last Wednesday of the month. And that is in my membership club, the Absolutely Studying Academy. But for the weekly goals, you can just join me here. And like I said, you can grab this planner to guide you through each of the steps. So let me know. I'm got some coffee. I hope you have something nice and warm and cozy to drink. If it's morning, maybe it's afternoon and you've got some lemonade. It is hot up here in Canada. So my afternoons are, or my mornings are coffee and my afternoons have been lemonade. Okay, so what were last week's goals? Let me switch back to mine because I had an amazing last week and I had an okay this week. I'm not gonna sell myself short. It was a solid week, but where are we? Where are we? Here we are. Full of post-its, blank post-its. I'm sure they're to remind me of something and I will figure it out eventually. Okay, so I've got my last week's goals. I set 3 goals because the week before I set myself 5, which was extremely ambitious. And I think I actually crushed it last week. No. 2 weeks ago, I set 5 goals and I just fell pretty short. But last week, I absolutely crushed it. This week, I did okay. And so you will find that I don't want to give you that fake productivity Instagram glow. Sometimes you have amazing weeks and you get everything done. Sometimes you don't. And that's kind of why I do this live stream, is to show you that I also miss my goals a lot too. So this week was okay. Last week, I crushed it. I did awesome. This week, I did okay. It wasn't bad at all. My goals were, I had a couple of articles that I needed to post or I needed to write. Those I got done. I needed to make my masterclass slides for my for the Absolutely Studying Academy. I'm not finished those yet, but I still have a couple more days. I do have some time set aside this afternoon to work on that. So we're good. And then I wanted to plan some social media content, which I also did. So that's good. So far I'm like 2.5 for 3, and I still have like 3 days to go because I reset my week on Mondays. So I did pretty good. I did pretty good for my last week's goals. If you want to share your goals, you are more than welcome to. Because I love seeing and hearing your goals as well. Hello. So was I able to balance the schedule? Yes, it was a little bit chaotic. I had a little bit of a chaotic week. I don't know why I forgot, but when I was setting my goals last week, I completely forgot that I actually was a day short. So I didn't have Monday, like Monday, I had completely booked up with appointments. And so I didn't actually get to work on Monday. But even though there was, and so that's probably why I'm a little bit behind on my goals with not being done the masterclass slides yet. But it's okay. I compensated. I still got a 10 done on the other days. So I was pretty good with balancing my schedule. And then how many were you able to complete? So 2.5 SMART goals. I'm not finished my masterclass slides. So I'm counting that as like a half win. But hopefully by the end of today, I will be able to. Otherwise, I'll have to move the rest of that goal onto next week. So where did you fall short? Well, obviously with my slides, I have it all outlined. I just have to actually make them. So I'm not too frantic about it because most of the hard work, heavy lifting is done. But for the actual, but to actually have them like nicely visually presented like I like to, they're not done. So that's kind of where I fell short this week. Okay, so now I like to go on to talking about what works, what doesn't work, what went wrong, what was avoidable, and that just helps you to get some clarity moving forward with how you're going to hold yourself accountable, how you're going to hold your time accountable with what you need to do and to get those goals and all of your work done. So, what really works for me is taking the first 15 minutes in the morning and actually planning out and keeping a list of everything I have to do in a day. So I make sure that I have like 5 or 6 targets or 5 or 6 tasks that I need to do in a day, regardless of if it's working towards the goals I've set or if it's just doing actual work that I need to do. Cause we all have to make money. We all have to do our jobs. So there's lots of stuff I have to do, like checking emails and creating content and stuff like that, that, that I have to do. And so I have to put all of that down. Accounting, that's not my favorite. But I write all of those tasks down. I spread them out during the week, and that way I get them done. I make sure I get them done. And I make sure that that there is time set aside. So that really works for me. I know it works for a lot of people. Some other people actually go through and do time blocking. I don't do that as much anymore unless I know I have a really, really busy day. And then, and I'm super, super tight on time, then I will actually go in and time block. But for right now, I am able to kind of get everything done in a little bit of a better flow if I just have a list. And then sometimes I will kind of reward myself with having an early end to my day if I can get everything done earlier, which sometimes doesn't work for me on time blocking, because then I feel if I set aside an hour for something, I'm kind of obligated to spend that entire hour working on it, even if I'm done in like 30 minutes. So let me know if that's something that you run into as well. So that's what works for me, having my task list. I have been still playing around back and forth with the Pomodoro method, and that works sometimes when I'm really, really deep in focus. I had a group Pomodoro co-working session earlier this week, and that was really nice, having the breaks, getting up and moving around in the breaks, because I will completely lose myself and work for hours if I don't remind myself to take a break. So what went wrong? For me this week, nothing really went wrong. Like I said, I forgot to account for the fact that Monday I was out all day. I think I kind of thought that my appointment would run less time than it did. And in fact, took pretty much the whole day. So when I got home, I was just exhausted. Just, that emotional exhaustion you get from being out in like an unfamiliar place with people you don't know, and like having to talk to strangers, that kind of mental and social exhaustion. I do get things done for 30 minutes as well, right? And then you feel like you've set aside an entire hour And you have to now like fill the rest of that 30 minutes instead of just going on to the next task. If you go on to the next task, you have to rearrange everything. I find that because I get kind of pigeonholed in the fact that I set aside all of this time. I have to spend all of this time doing it, even if I'm done early. So I'll kind of start a second task under the same umbrella. And then the unfortunate part of that is then sometimes that part of the task will run long and then I'm pushing back things. So time the time blocking is kind of weird for me. It works great with like really short tasks. So if I only have to focus, I still do it for things like social media. When I'm on my social media, I will set myself a timer for 15 minutes to browse social media and then limit myself at the end. But for some tasks that are a little bit more creative, I tend not to time block for those. Sorry, squirrel brain. I totally went off on a side tangent. So was it avoidable? It was, and I was able to quickly self-correct and kind of tackle. I ended up taking the rest of the afternoon off because I don't think I got home until like almost 2 o'clock. And then by then I had been out since like maybe 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was just completely mentally exhausted by being out in the elements and with the strangers. So I kind of came home and I wanted to get to work, but it took me so long to decompress that I just kind of gave up and started dinner early. And what will you do again? Definitely staying on the same lane of working on my lists, working off of my lists, writing down everything I need to get done in a day, writing down all of my obligations that I do, and then going through and actually checking everything off. And that's what I use my planner for. And what would you do differently? Well, I don't know. This week, I think, is just another stay focused and stay on the path this week. I will try to employ the Pomodoro method a little bit more because I do have some pretty big things coming up business wise this week. And it's just a regular cycle of business, just some accounting stuff that I'll be doing. So I will definitely be using Pomodoro method that week. And I know that does again help me to take breaks and stop and not to get burnt out so quickly so that I can work a little bit longer and not have to and be a little bit more able to, get up and take a break. Cause I'm one of those people who will like sit down at 9 o'clock in the morning and just try and blast through everything I need to do on the list. And then all of a sudden I wake up at, I look up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm just completely mentally exhausted because I forgot to take lunch. I forgot to stop and drink water. I just try to push through everything and get it all done. So I do tend to do that if I don't stop myself. So I do have to remind myself to take breaks. I'm horrible for that. Okay, so SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, and relevant and time sensitive. So they all have a time limit on them. They will be done 1 week. So we will have from Monday to Sunday of next week to get these goals completed. Relevant. So if you set your monthly goals, they will be directly related to moving and advancing yourself towards completing your monthly goals. They can even be a subsection of your monthly goals if you broke your monthly goals down into tasks here or milestones. Attainable. So we don't want to overwhelm ourselves with something that's crazy big. Like I'm going to finish all of my course content in 1 week and we're going to be done and we're going to finish all of our homework in 1 week for the entire year. That's not attainable. That is just a recipe for disaster. So something that we can reliably do. Measurable. There is a quantifiable end to when you succeed the goal. So actually going through and having a quantifiable endpoint. So for me, I needed to finish my June my June blog content. So there's 4 weeks in June. That's 4 posts that I needed to write. That is measurable. I either wrote the 4 posts or I didn't. And finally, specific. So it's something specific. I needed to write the June blog content or the June articles. They are articles. They are for June. There are 4 of them. So these are all specific. I thought I would go backwards for a change. So now time to set our goals for next week. So I'm going to take a peek at my monthly goals and I'm going to see where I am. So my June articles, I have finished. That was a monthly goal and I finished them this week. Hold on, I'm looking for my ruler so I can cross this off. So the very first goal that I had was for my June articles to be written. They have now officially been written. What else can I sign off? Okay, so that's the only one that I can sign off. I can write off this. I'm still working on this, still kind of working on this. This is just some social media content that I work on throughout the month. Let's see. Okay, so first things first, I need to, how many weeks do we have? We have 2 weeks left. So next week we are going to film the master classes. So that will be my first goal. Sorry if I am a little bit quiet. I am actually actively writing them. I hope you are also taking this opportunity to actively write your goals into your planner or write onto this list here. Oh, sorry, I can hear a squirrel chirping outside my window. So I hope you are writing, anyways, I hope you are writing your goals down. So I have to film my masterclass. So that will be that. Also want to, I have to keep working on socials. We're still working on our socials. And I have some work for the society that I need to take care of. So I have set my 3 goals, my masterclass, and I have a lot of work. One of the societies that I am executive director for, we are having a great big picnic in the park in Vancouver, Coquitlam, British Columbia next month. So there is a whole social media campaign that I have to design for that. And I am really, really psyched about that. So that I did start this week, but I actually have to work on getting it finished. So now we go on to the exciting part, which is actually blocking off some time to get this done. So for me, even though I did it and I actually marked it off in my calendar last week, I don't know why I didn't realize that I had like double booked myself, but we have to go through and block off the time for everything. So I have an appointment. I have a client on Monday. Let's put that down so that we don't forget. We also have another one on Tuesday. So let's put that down. I am using my Muji pen today, and I don't use them very often, but I do love them, but they're very aesthetic, and I always feel like I have to save them for a special occasion, when you have like these like fancy, pretty pens. But I'm using it today, and I feel very fancy right now. And I have another client on Wednesday, so we'll put that down as well. Now on Thursday, I have a bunch of accounting reconciliation things we have to do. So that's always fun, right? For month end. And then, and we have a birthday party on Saturday. Next Saturday. I feel like summertime is the time of birthday parties because I have had a birthday party every day for every week for like the last 8 weeks, except for maybe 2 weekends. Very, very birthday party dense month. Okay, so now that I have put in all of my obligations, all of my important things here, let's put down, we have to put down our live next Friday. How did I forget? And then let's put reminders for the bills. There we go. So like I said, I hope you are taking the time to write out your plan for the week as well, whether that is in fact your goals in your planner or printing off this printable so that you can also write down your goals and how you're going to tackle them step by step. I'm just about done writing this part in my planner. Because I am sitting here trying to be all fancy with my fancy pen and talk at the same time, completely wrote something wrong. We're going to have to wipe that out. Okay, well, this whiteout is crunchy. I know, I'm so loud. I'm so loud. This whiteout sounds crunchy as well. Can you hear it? I'm shaking it. This is obviously, it's crunchy as well. Okay. I know I have a whiteout tape somewhere. Listen, I've got a lot of things in order, but sometimes I can be kind of a mess too. So I know I have a whiteout tape. It is usually on the top of my desk. And I'm wondering if I am in fact out and I just didn't realize it because I thought I have more whiteout in my desk. And now both of the two like little tubes of whiteout that I thought I had are dead. So apparently I do not have whiteout. I do not have whiteout. I spelled accounting wrong. And this is just our life today. Okay. So we're just going to cross this out and we will figure it out later. One of the unfortunate sides of being a business owner is that you have to reconcile accounting things. And I do that on Thursdays. This Thursday is a big one because I have to do more than just a normal like documenting Thursday. But I always set that time aside where I'll sit down for at least an hour of time blocking and just go through and like pull all of the invoices out of my purse and like scan them into the software or send them off to the bookkeeper and do like those kind of things, pay out the bills that I have to pay, because otherwise I will just avoid and avoid and avoid. And so that time blocking I do find super useful for that reason, because if it is something that you are not looking forward to, something that you don't want to do, actually setting aside that hour to just get it over with once a week is a good idea, because otherwise I will literally leave it until like February, March. And then all of a sudden I'm trying to scramble and get the entire year's worth of invoices together. And the bookkeeper is angry at me because I have to file my taxes. And we all know how that goes. So I set aside an hour a week and I just get it done. So that I do time blocking for. Okay, so back to the workbook. And let's see what our next steps are in our action plan. So I've got my 3 top goals for next week. So I'm going to film this masterclass that I will at that point have completed slides for, because I'm going to spend this afternoon banging them out. I am going to finish up on the social media campaigns for my business and for the society, because that picnic in the park is coming. It's right around the corner. I think it's June 16th. So we need to start talking and sharing some content about that. So how are these going to help you big picture? Well, I have an obligation to my members to have this masterclass filmed and up on the 1st. So I don't want to disappoint them. They depend on me. And that is how that goal of filming this masterclass is going to help me. Now, having my socials get done, those are business obligations. That's going to help me get people. It's a community picnic in the park. So if the community doesn't know about it, how can they come and join us? So that is where that goes. And just spreading that kind of awareness, having everybody so that people can plan that they have something that they can do on that July weekend. And oh no, both of my second goals are socials. Now, how will you reward yourself if you meet these expectations? Next week, you know what? I think I'm going to plan another trip to the zoo. It's one of my favorite things to do in the summer. I love animals. I was a bio major. So, of course, I love animals. I love living things. I love going and learning about the animals all through. I have a membership to the zoo. Like that's how much I go. I literally went last weekend. We're going this weekend again. And hopefully we will find some time next Sunday to go a third time, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday. So I go to the zoo every opportunity that I get. So I think that that's probably what the reward is going to be. So let's write that down. And we'll do that either Saturday or Sunday next week. And also with the zoo, it's also a whole trip, right? So you get to go out, you get to get some snacks, you get to get some bubble tea on the way home, some boba. And that is the whole outing of the zoo, and I love it. Okay, so this is where if you need to break your tasks down even further, you can in here. Like I said, I break my tasks down daily. So every single morning, I sit down and I write a list of everything I need to do in the day. I write the portions down. So for my masterclass, I will obviously have film masterclass 1, 2. I think there's 6 in this month. I think there's 6. Let me see. Let me take a look. I think there's 6 videos in this month. So that will be, I'll probably do like a 3 and 3, 3 the first day, 3 the second day. And but if you have this, you can actually go down and write down each of the tasks it's going to take you to complete your goal for the week and when you want to have it done by. Or you can do, if you do the planner method, and you can just sort it out throughout the week. So that's it for me for my planning for next week. I might hang out for a couple more minutes before it's time for me to go off and work on my slides and kind of stylize and liven up my planner a little bit. Sometimes I like adding stickers. Sometimes I like doing coloring. Within the next couple months, I do want to set up my other camera. I have a second camera. I went out, I got it, and actually be able to show you guys in real time my planner as I do the planning. But I'm also purchasing a new desk, and I think having the new desk set up is going to be better because I'll be able to have a little bit more space rather, because I'm getting an L-shaped desk rather than the my regular super long desk. So that's going to be exciting as well. So hopefully within the next little while, I will have that set up. But if you want to share your goals, I do love to hear them. You can always email me. You can always send me a DM on socials. All of my socials are linked down in the description below, or you can leave it as a comment if you would like. But some people get a little bit shy with sharing their goals. But the accountability is always spectacular when you do. So that's it for today. That's it for now. I'm so happy you joined me. I'm happy seeing you here, and I hope you have an amazing adventure.